am here today with Shelly Bonet. Shelly is a much sought after vocalist based in Los Angeles. She has done numerous sessions over the years, most recently appearing on Quiet Riot and House of Lords bassist Chuck Wright's Sheltering Sky record, which we love here. She is also a member of the Mitch Perry Group and can be heard on their latest record, Music Box. She has also toured internationally, performing with the artists like Michael Bolton, Jethro Tull's Martin Barre. Shelly had her very own solo record in 2016 called Love in a Dangerous World. We're going to talk a little bit about all of those things, and we're going to talk about maybe another solo record. So we'll see what Shelly has on the horizon. So Shelly, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's start from the beginning. Originally from Virginia, correct?
Originally from Florida.
Okay.
Yes. I was in a military family, so I traveled quite a bit growing up.
Okay.
And I started my career overseas in Germany because I went to school there. So,
okay.
Yeah. That's the European connection that I have. I just loved it over there, and I made my solo record over there. So. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I noticed that a lot in what I saw in my research of your whole career. A lot of it is in Europe and Germany yes. In particular. So I found that interesting. I'm like, because you are in LA right now, right?
Well, I'm in Florida at the moment.
Okay.
But I'm all over the
place. That's a great thing. We love that.
It is.
But you're based in Los Angeles, right?
Actually, I mean, I spend probably half my time in LA and half my time in Florida.
Okay. Yeah, because I see so many mutual friends with Chuck and Mitch and all of these people. They all know who Shelly is, and they obviously know who they are. And those are all my Los Angeles crowd there.
Right.
Grandfather, pedal steel player.
Yes.
Mother and actress, brothers, of course. We know Sean Williamson, of course.
Yes.
Atlanta Rhythm Section. That's where I know him from most prominently.
Right.
Your grandfather, Hawaiian?
Yes.
Yeah, and a pedal steel player. That's pretty cool.
Yes, very.
Yeah. So that was a big influence on you in your youth, I would say, right?
Yes. And we found some footage of him on YouTube. He was in a film. I believe it was Eleanor Powell film called The Hawaiian. And he's in the film playing with his band, the Hawaiian Follies. So it was really neat to see him.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. And that's so many different influences too that you take into your singing. I noticed that listening to you. There's of course your blues and soul thing going on, but with Mitch in particular, you have a real rock thing, and it's just there's a little bit of country in your voice. Muscle Shoals, big part of your life career.
Oh yes.
Yeah, tell us about that. Yeah.
Yes, I went down to Muscle Shoals to record a record. That the record never came out, but I went down there to record a record at Muscle Shoals Sound, and I met Jimmy Johnson, but he was pretty busy at the time. So a few years later, I went back down there and I just knocked on his door and said, I'm here and I would love for you to mentor me. And so he did. We worked together for 3 years, and he, I was just like a sponge, just taking in all of the stories and the music that was made in Muscle Shoals, which just happens to be my favorite music that I grew up on. So it was a real big part of my career for sure. Yeah. He really guided me in, the right directions and taught me a whole bunch.
Yeah, and he was part of course, that Muscle Shoals, that grouping of
Swampers.
Yeah. That's just such a monumental group of musicians right there.
Oh, definitely.
changed the face of music. Clayton Ivy, just amazing group. You had a musical family as a kid.
Yes.
So what were some of the things you heard around the house? What was that like?
Oh, well, my brother Sean, he was well into making his music when I was coming up, and he was my hero. I heard a lot of Southern rock, the Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner, and well, of course, a lot of Muscle Shoals music then as well, the Stones. You know, he was very heavily influenced in rock music like that, and then he joined the Atlanta Rhythm section. And so, yeah, there's always music going on in our house. And my other brother, Scott, he was a hip hop artist and also an electronic music artist. He still is today. So, I've had a little bit of, little diversity there with the music for sure. My dad was a blues enthusiast. There's always, blues records being played in the house and, really good music. So and my mom, of course, her dad being the pedal steel guitar player, and her mother was also a singer. So
Wow.
yeah, so it just runs in the family, and it's we were all really supported in wanting to make music for a living. So we had a great support system here. So
That's great.
yeah.
That is really, it's so important. It makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. Yeah, we had no resistance. It was like, go on and do your music. They knew we loved it. And, there's lots of peaks and valleys in music, as I'm sure you know.
Yes.
So but
Yeah.
it's been quite the adventure so far. So, it's been great.
That's cool. That's cool. When did you discover you had a gift? You had that voice. I mean, everybody sings in the shower, and everybody, kind of follows a tune in the car while they're driving, or whatever. But you've got something that not too many people get. When did you really find that?
Oh, well, I always loved music, and I was always singing, as a child. But I mean, I think what happened was I had to make music. I just had to sing. So I spent hours and hours in my bedroom practicing. And then, my brother brought me up on stage, and, my dad took me to open mic nights and stuff, blues nights. And, I started to, learn how to do it. It felt really good. I never had any voice lessons or anything. So it was just all just feeling, and, but I guess I discovered that really early on, it just came natural. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm a singer. And, I practiced really hard though, before I ever got out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still learning a lot about, my voice and how to craft a song and how to perform, so it never ends, which is a great thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Never stop learning.
and that support again comes in, taking you to open mic nights at a young age. That's pretty cool. Not everybody does that. Not every parent
Right.
will do that. So, that had to give you great confidence for sure.
It did. I mean, they wanted me to, if I was going to sing, they wanted me to get on an actual stage and, see what happens with the feedback and stuff. So, that was very important,
Hmm.
for me to experience. And they knew that I was pretty good at what I did. And I mean, they would have never allowed me to do it if I wasn't, they wouldn't have told me, oh yeah, go on out there. And
Right.
it's my brothers are so talented, so, following in, my brother's footsteps with touring and stuff. I did my actual first tour with my brother Sean in Europe.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to
yeah,
talk to you about that. That's like 19, you were 19 years old, right?
it was pretty, yeah, it was a long time ago. We were opened up for the River Dogs.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
know who they are?
I absolutely do. And their first record's one of my favorite records ever, ever, ever. Rob Lamoth, singer. If we're talking about the same River Dogs.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
one. That's the one.
That voice for him is wow. He's
Yeah,
another.
he was a big inspiration for me to become, to start writing my own songs.
Yeah.
And because it was, I mean, he's such a great songwriter, and me and Sean both were really inspired by him and his band
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
that tour. It was great.
I often see that first record, and Vivian Campbell, of course, can't forget on guitar on that record. I see it in like cutout bins and things like that, and it didn't do overly well, at least in the States here.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, why does everybody not experience this record? And I see that often. It's just wow, it was life-changing for me. I love that record.
Yes, it definitely was a pivotal moment for me
Yeah, and
to hear that record. And yeah,
there's so much emotion, and I hear that in your voice. You really, I mean, there's so many passages in the solo record, Love in a Dangerous World. But here's to the man. That when you sing the word butterscotch, there's something about it that just you should sing the word butterscotch in every song, and I'd be okay.
Yeah, it's a great line, huh?
It's unbelievable. It really is. And there's many of them in the record. And it's so much fun. Just the nuances in your voice, the emotion that comes through is sensational.
Thank you.
In 97, you did an album called Mean Dog,
Yes.
in Germany, right?
Yes, it did. That was also with my brother.
Yeah, with Sean, Sunnyland Blues Band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And on that record, Pull Me Under, the song Pull Me Under on Mean Dog is actually a Rob Lamoth song.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I thought he was associated with the band in some way. And he's done other things, of course. But yes, I noticed that his name come up. And then I heard you talk about River Dogs at one point too. And it was, I said, there's got to be some kind of connection there.
Oh yeah, there was.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And that, how was that experience? With a blues band like that, that when your brother had to be.
Yes, it was really, really a great experience. I mean, we played so many dates every year. We were together, I guess, for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was great. We did touring. We toured with Atlanta Miles.
Oh.
And we did some opening shows for John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. And it was great. It was a great experience to be in a blues band like that. They were all so very talented, and I was just getting started. So, it was nice to be part of, a band like that were seasoned, knew what they were doing. So it's great.
Yeah.
And it was, of course, great to sing with my brother.
Yeah.
As always.
That's cool. That's cool. You got a chance to work with Jim Lee of Slade, which, writer of, extreme high caliber.
Yes.
All of those hits. What was that experience like? Did you write with him, perform with him?
I actually, I was, I got paired up with him in England, because he is such an amazing songwriter. And I was going to make a solo record at the time, and he had some songs for me to record. So we went to his studio and recorded a bunch of songs together. And then we chose, the ones that worked for me. And the one on the record, on my record we did is his song. I'm trying to think of the title. It's All Coming Back. I think it's All Coming Back is his song.
Yeah.
And Pure Power. I think that's on there too.
Okay.
But he's amazing. He was such a nice guy, so humble. Told me a lot of stories from back in the day, and it was great to be able to work with him.
Yeah.
Wonderful experience.
Absolute legend.
That's cool. Definitely.
2 tracks from Chuck Wright's Sheltering Sky.
Yes.
And I think, Chuck, I just talked to Chuck, been a friend of Chuck's for a long time. I know he's great friends with Glenn Wexler who did the album cover, which is just amazing. Of course, it's Glenn Wexler there.
Yes,
He doesn't do anything that's not amazing.
that's
Uh,
right.
but he also did Music Box, which was kind of cool.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so there's kind of a, that parallel.
Mhm.
You're on two amazing records, and amazing records with great Wexler covers, which is pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Throwing Stones, with great Joe Retta on lead vocal. You are on that track, and you are on a track called Cradle of the Sun, Lorelei, which is a very different kind of song from Throwing Stones.
Oh, yes, definitely different.
Yeah, that was great. One's a real rock tune, and the other one's a laid back, folky Americana country almost feel.
Yeah.
How did that opportunity come about? And were you presented with songs to choose from, or did he have those in mind for you from the beginning?
Chuck had those songs in mind for me, and I know Chuck through Mitch, of course, and the Ultimate Jam at the Whiskey Go Go. So, yeah, he heard my voice and thought that those two songs would be perfect for me to sing on. So I was very honored that he asked me to be part of his record. It's such a great record.
Yeah.
Every song on that record is just,
yeah, he is, he's something. And there's a lot of people that gloss over his contributions a little bit. I think I've always felt that. He obviously gets high praise in the community, but now I think it's his time to really shine and show what he's capable of. And that record's great, and your contribution, especially on Cradle of the Sun, wow, just it's fantastic. You did a session recently, I think, with
yes,
Krajensky.
yes, Lutz Krasinski.
I happened upon this thing. It's a song called To Ease Your Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous orchestration, big sound, just something very, very different. Again, so many different things you can do. Tell me about that session and what that was like, doing something that different.
Oh yeah, that was an orchestra out of Switzerland, and they did the session in Switzerland with Steve Lyon, who produced Love in a Dangerous World.
Mm-hmm.
And then Steve brought the track to me in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and I laid my vocal down. And we didn't know how that song was going to be used when we did it. I think the label that I was signed with, they thought that maybe it could be like some kind of background, like Christmassy kind of music somewhere. But then Lutz, he was in the orchestra that recorded that song, and he wanted to put it on his record. So he got in touch with me and said, well, he was going to release it. So that was a surprise for me, and I was really happy about it, because I always wanted people to hear that, because it was so, I'd never done anything like that before.
Right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. It's a Billy Steinberg song, and beautiful song, and the orchestra sounded amazing, and yeah, the production's great, and yeah, I'm proud of it.
It is really, really great. And that is an orchestra. It's not a keyboard orchestra.
No, it's a real orchestra.
And there's something about that. You can hear it. The keyboards are great and everything, and there's so much you can do, and it sounds great. But when you get a full orchestra on a recording like that, and when it's recorded as great as that is recorded, it's really powerful. It's something.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I performed with that orchestra. Wow. I didn't know if I was going to be able to pull it off.
I mean, that's gotta be, having all of that sound behind you is gotta be.
It was intimidating. I really didn't know. I thought, oh my God, it's one thing to sing with a band,
right,
but to sing with all of that, like you said, all of that power behind you it was surreal. It was a moment that I'll never forget, but I got through it. I did it. But it's just,
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, my son is a musician, and he has played in orchestras many times, and I've gone to see him. And when it kicks in, that symphony orchestra, it's sitting in an audience is like, it's breathtaking. It's
It
just,
is.
I actually lose my breath when it's, it really, it's powerful. So I can't imagine having to sing in front of them. Wow.
Yeah, it was really really scary, but once I got into it, it was it fell
Yeah,
in naturally. It was fine, but
yeah.
yeah, there was a couple of seconds there that I thought, please, I hope I don't have a train wreck here.
And
But it worked out though.
yeah, and this particular recording, you get that feeling. There's that power of the orchestra, and your voice over it is just it's something. It's a great session.
Oh, thank you
Really
so
great.
much.
Your solo album, 2016, Love in a Dangerous World. A lot of tracks on that record. I think it's like 15 tracks, something like that.
Yeah, there was like a deluxe version of it with all the tracks on it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's pretty great. We get a lot of Shelly Bonet, but that's 2016.
right.
It's 2022. We want more Shelly Bonet. Uh, are you writing solo tracks? Are you thinking about another solo record?
I am. I'm actually working on it right now.
Yay,
And
everybody.
yes, so yeah, working on it right now. I've got a few songs written so far, and I'm hoping to have a release hopefully in the fall
Yeah.
for the new solo record. I think that would be I think I'll be pretty much done writing by the end of the summer and then go track it and put it out.
Wow. That's I didn't expect that. I expect maybe you were writing, but in the fall, possibly.
I'm hoping fall or winter. I mean, winter being the
Wow.
latest, but I mean, really, that's my goal.
Fantastic, fantastic. Mitch Perry album. That's been a couple of years now. Is
Yes.
Mitch and the band? You guys working on another Mitch Perry Group record?
Yes, we are. We've been working on some songs. I was there back in January and in March, and we've been working on some new tunes. And of course, Mitch is such a fantastic songwriter. It's amazing the things that he writes.
It's
The
pretty
new
cool.
record's gonna be was good. Is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and
I think it might even be a little bit, even if I dare say, even better than Music Box. But it's gonna be, it's gonna be great.
yeah. For anybody who has not heard Music Box, they need to. It's just there's something about that style that he writes in. It's so retro in a way where it throws back to that hard rock blues soul emotional power thing, but it's
Yes.
just so fresh. It's so fresh. Bringing in singers like yourself to just power these songs is just it's great stuff. And of course, Mitch is an amazing player. uh,
Yes, he is.
just all of that together is powerful stuff. I heard you were working with a Tampa band as
Yes,
well. You got a lot of stuff going on.
I do. I've just been busy, busy. I guess, after the pandemic, I'm just making up for lost time, and I'm just trying to stay busy in different projects and situations and just keeping myself busy. I've been going down to Sarasota area and also playing with a band down there and which has been great.
Yeah, wow, that's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
going to be doing a lot more shows down there. I actually got some shows coming up next month
Cool.
down there.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's always great for a musician to keep busy performing as well as writing. And you're doing all of that. That's great. What's the biggest thing you've learned over you've been to so many places, you've done so many different things. Is there a common thing that you've learned that gets you through each of those sessions, those gigs?
Just being, true to yourself, not compromising too much. I mean, I've done a lot of compromising in my career, and just to keep going and having to deal with labels and stuff like that. Like my solo record, there was a lot of compromising going on that record.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad we made it, but I think the older I get, the more I'm not willing to compromise so much. I mean, I'll meet people to a certain extent, but I mean, I really want to get my voice heard in a real authentic way with real songs, and
Right.
that just kind of,
Yeah.
I guess for my next solo record, I want that to happen, that people get who I am as a singer and as a woman,
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And you do a lot of sessions, I know. And I just talked to Ken Scott, who engineered the Beatles records, and
Oh, wow.
these produced Bowie and Elton John and all of these things, and so many other things that we haven't really heard of that much. I asked him, if he has to like it when he to take on a job. So I would present you with that same question. Somebody comes to you with a session and they want you to sing on it. Do you have to love it, or can you just add your voice and do the job?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, I do have to like it to a certain extent, to do it, because I can't sing in any other way. But I have to really feel what I'm doing. And I like doing different genres of music, which I've been doing lately. And then going back to what I do originally, which is, the more soulful blues kind of stuff. But I do like doing rock music too. I mean, it is a part of who I am, I think, as a vocalist. But yeah, I think when people approach me with their projects and want me to sing on it, I do have to listen to it, and it's got to connect with me somehow, in order for me to do it, for sure.
Right. If you could have a conversation with any living person, who would that be? Snap your fingers, somebody's there, and you can have a conversation with them. Who would that be?
Oh boy. Well, I get asked this question a lot.
Do you?
Yes. If I could talk to, I don't know. I think I'd like to talk to, I don't know. I think I'd like to talk to either Mavis Staples or Tina Turner.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they've had quite the journey. And I love what Mavis is doing right now, musically. I love seeing her back in the spotlight. But I would love to talk to either one of them, because they're both huge influences of mine.
Very cool. Yeah. And I think that's obvious. Your voice has so many parallels to that style, and just amazing. Something in your life that you've always wanted to do? You've done a lot of things. You've taken your career in many different directions. Is there something that you always wanted to do, haven't had a chance yet?
I haven't really spent a lot of time in America touring, so I think I'd like to do that. I've played here and there, on the West Coast, and some on the East Coast, and some places down south in South Florida, but I've never really actually done a US tour, which I think that's something that I'd like to do for sure.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to it for sure. Don't forget Chicago when you're lining that up.
I won't forget.
Home of the blues here. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very cool. Awesome. Shelly, it's been awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's when the solo record comes out, we can reconnect and have you on, and we can talk all about that too.
Well, I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We will be in touch for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Shelly.
Bye.
Bye-bye.